Steve, I suppose it's welcome back to Hemel for yourself. How delighted are you to be back here at Vauxhall Road?
Yeah, very pleased. Obviously, as you mentioned, I've had a spell here previously. It seems a long time ago now, 2006, but always kept in touch with Chairman from that moment forward. Obviously, still been involved in local football, so clubs clearly moved on through the levels. I'd like to think I started that process with the promotion back in 2006-07 with that famous win at Brackley. So, yeah, I'm looking forward really, as Dave and I said, some unfinished business, and see where we go this season.
You mentioned how different the ground is, and we sit here today and there's actually no grass whatsoever on the top surface there. How much of a big difference will that be going forward, certainly for this season, but also for the club as a whole?
Yeah, I think the one thing that Dave's done year on year is he's improved the facilities, the ground, and this is another step in that direction. Yeah, it's a big step to move to artificial, but it's the way forward if you want to include the community and the terrific youth section that the club now has and has grown again from those early beginnings. Everybody's got that opportunity to be based around the first team pitch and the facilities, and it will certainly help hopefully generate revenue, but it will give us a guaranteed first class playing surface, so no excuses for what we serve up week in, week out.
And both you and Lee were at Burco last season. Obviously the season was cut short, but you did finish top if we're going to look at the standings of where people finished. How big of a motivation was it sort of off the back of that to come to a club at this level and sort of push on, really, because you two work really well together?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's no secret, I've said it previously, we're really disappointed with the speed in which the decision was made to null and void the season. We'd put so much hard work into building a team, staying at the top. We'd just beaten a very good, very strong Hales Owen team, and we had Corby to come, who were in and around it with us. So we were disappointed about that, but we've now ultimately got a fantastic reward for our efforts, if you like. Opportunity to pit our wits, Conference South. I've spent a lot of my footballing managerial career trying to get to that level, and here we are with that opportunity. So it's about looking forward. We did the right thing and talked to Berkhamsted as soon as we were able to in terms of the opportunity, and I'm just really looking forward to getting going with it now. We don't know for certain when that might be, but it's getting ever closer, and that's the important thing. And I've enjoyed speaking to players again, and we'll have a real good go at it, I'm sure of that.
And two players extremely well, Matt Bateman and JJ, obviously have signed on, played for you. Matt has played for you at Burco before, and JJ last season. How important is it, certainly around this time period with the coronavirus, that clubs sort of almost stay local, because they're local lads, you're fairly local? How important is it for the club going forward that actually we start to look to attract some of the local talent in the area?
Yeah, I think it's highly important, and one thing that Lee and I know, operating on a sharp budget, let's call it at Berkhamsted, we weren't the biggest payers in the league that we've come out of, for sure, but we know what good local talent is, and we've had conversations with most of them, and JJ and Matty are two examples of locally based boys that deserved that opportunity. Did really well for us. Matt had moved on to Royston, Step 3 last season, had a fantastic season for them, and I think he's absolutely ready for this next challenge. JJ, the Hemel supporters will know, came here on a dual registration, having committed really to see the season out with ourselves, regardless of what happened. Not a lack of ambition on his part, just again another thing around his loyalty and fitting with his university challenges that he had. But you know, they're good players. They deserve that opportunity, and we will certainly have a young, hungry, local, much more locally based group of players than I think the club has had in its recent times. And you know, we're looking forward to working with them.
And you know the fans here quite well. Very loyal, very passionate people. Love their football club. How delighted are you to be back amongst the people of Hemel Hempstead and to be just a short distance away from where they fill the back of that stand behind the goal?
Yeah, listen, I always felt there was a sense of unfinished business. Dave and I didn't fall out. He made a football decision, which any chairman does. You know, whatever Dave did, you know, I always worked with him on it. I wouldn't expect that to be any different. So to have that opportunity to come back a little bit older, a little bit wiser, you know, I've been involved in management now. It's 20 years, you know, since I stopped playing, and during that period I've had a fair degree of success, and I'm looking forward to building on that. It's a fantastic opportunity for Lee and myself, and as you say, we've worked well together previously, so it's a no-brainer for me. I do know a lot of the supporters. I still do. I still speak to them on a regular basis. So I also know we've got to come here and show them something, you know, that they're happy with, whether that's a style of play, whether that's getting results and keeping us at the right end of the table, you know. But we're confident of that. We wouldn't have taken on the opportunity if we didn't think we could meet that criteria. And for me, it can't start quick enough now, really. So again, really pleased to be back and looking forward to seeing and chatting to a lot of familiar faces. You know, who've always made me welcome when I've come back, you know, as an opposition manager or as a watching manager, looking and doing a bit of scouting and, you know, taking in a game of football.
Well, wish you the very best of luck going forward, and like I say, we hope we can get back to it very, very shortly.
Yep, look forward to it, Dan. Thank you.